Hello there, and welcome to Universal Mastering Studios. I'm Pete Doell, and we're here today in Mastering Studio A, and I'm going to take a moment and show you a little bit of how we achieve mastering. Basically, we have a source, which in the old days used to be an analog source, but these days 99.9% of the time it's a digital source. So I have a computer, that is the source computer, and then it gets converted to analog and goes through my desk, which has various signal processing things in it and gets re-recorded into this second computer. The reason you obviously need two is because the source might be at 96K, might be at 48K, but whatever. I need to record typically at 44.1 for a CD, or maybe it's going to be 96 for HD tracks or something. But you need two so you can have two different sample rates.
So you don't have to convert the files?
Correct. So they can commit at whatever native resolution and so forth, and I can do my thing, and typically it's going to get converted to analog and then back to digital at whatever the delivery sampling rate is.
Because there will be loss when you convert, I guess?
Well, no, as I was saying before, if I wanted just a digital process, I could do that, but typically I'm going to go analog. Right? So I have the prism converters up here, and then from it gets fed to my dangerous mastering console. And on these buttons, I can patch in whatever analog signal processing I might want. And it also has, I think we spoke earlier about a technique we call MS, which is mid-side, where the stuff that's common to the left and right can be processed separately as the mid, and the stuff that's not common to both sides remains on the outside, and it's called the sides. So this button will allow me to access that feature, so I could make this EQ, for example, be controlling what's happening in the middle, and this EQ could control what's happening out on the outsides if I so desired. I have analog compression, for the dynamic control to hopefully just glue stuff together or make stuff that's poking out just kind of sit nicely. And then I have analog equalizers. This is another compressor over here. And then we switch to the digital domain over here, where I have digital signal processors as well. I have EQ, I have compression, and a peak limiter. And one of the very biggest features of the room is the TC6000, which can do a lot of what every one of these other pieces can do, and more. And it has 4 engines, so I can do a number of things simultaneously. I can have compression, I can have multiband compression, I can have peak limiting, I can have EQ, I can have 5.1 unwrap if I was doing a project that required such a thing. What I do every once in a great while is you'll have a mix that somehow doesn't really make a lot of sense, because spatially your ear thinks it isn't kind of glued together, and every once in a while I'll actually use a pinch of reverb or a room algorithm from the TC, and I'll use 2 engines, one that's just going left, the other that's just going right, so there appears to be nothing in the middle to cloud up the image that you already have achieved in your mix. And suddenly it makes a whole lot of sense to your ear because you hear it in a space. I got to be judicious about that, but sometimes that's one of the odd uses of the 6000's reverb stuff that finds its way into mastering. Don't use it a lot, but it's great. And sometimes for records, the last thing I'll use is this, and I'll use it to high pass out some of the murk, so you can actually get a really tight bottom and focused sound that, is a good thing, shall we say.
So beside all this great outboard gear, can you tell about the monitor phase of your work as well?
Yeah, the most important tool we have in mastering, really, besides the ears, are the speakers. And because you can only fix what you can identify, and you can only leave alone the stuff that you know is already fine and dandy, and you don't need to worry about it. So your speakers are your most important tool, and I'm really lucky to have these full-sounding Dynaudio M3s, which are bi-amped externally, and they're really, really great. They're really great for this size room, which is a big room for a mastering room. It's like 30 by 20 by 15. That's huge for a mastering room. But these speakers handle the volume of the room just great, and they don't compress. Big fan.
Thank you for taking time to showing us the signal chain here and all your goodies in your studio.
My very great pleasure. Please come again.
Thanks.